Oh, wow.
I've been buying a lot of tequila and tasting them all.
What's up, dudes?
What else is new?
We're out of stories.
Well, we always usually start off by talking about what we're drinking anyways. And so Albert was just talking about his, what is it?
Today it's Altos Añejo.
Maybe not. My camera decides when it wants to focus and when it doesn't. Oh, well. That's tequila?
It's tequila. It's not the best tequila. It's okay.
Okay, tequila.
So, it's not a recommended, but I had it, so I
Yeah.
gotta do something with it.
Yeah, I can't let it go to waste.
Not the worst tequila.
I got, what did you bring, Micah? These are Lagunitas Wonder Hazies. Our face, it's face detecting, so it's just gonna. If I'm here alone, I could do like I cover my face and it'll. Let's see who's in here. We got Large Marge, Pudgy Pedal Pusher, Dylan, Jay Dandy, Patrick, Rick, Blackball, Traveling Through. What's up, Patrick? Rusty, yeah. Gonna be that kind of night, Blackball says about the tequila. Well, like you said, it's always that kind of night.
It's always that kind of night. There's no cookies tonight, though.
Yeah, no cookie night. Large Marge said he's just here for the YMJs. He's drinking an Edmund Fitzgerald. That's an inside joke that nobody else gets. So
It's ruined ever since I found out that the YM is actually attractive.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and it just isn't funny to me anymore.
Yeah.
But we'll try to revive it. Yeah. It got too real.
Summit Perry was out at Bent Ladder, and we rode out there on Sunday. That place has just the best views. Have you been out there?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Aaron just wishes they had a much more dry cider. Even their like dries aren't quite as dry as she likes them. When we were in Connecticut, there was a place that had them that was like champagne dry.
Yeah, I'm
which
sure.
I really like champagne dry cider. It's like super dry. Oh, Brad's in here. Brad asked how we got AJ to show up.
I made the mistake of telling Chrissy that this was going on.
Oh, yeah?
She's like, you're going.
So that's why you're here.
Yep.
Oh.
She snuggled up with Digby on the couch. Yep.
Padlock the door.
Yep.
We're out of here. It's only fair.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan said he finds the worm before the piddle break. So anyways, Micah's been on before. He is an artist, graphic designer, teacher, all three. Less of a teacher now, more of a graphic designer and artist.
Yeah. I think
Than
so.
last time you were on?
Yep. Actually, yeah, that was what? May last year that I was on, or April maybe?
Yeah, talking about the Fool's Loop that these two did together. So if you watch that, this was his partner in crime on the Fool's Loop, and Albert owns Akron Coffee Roasters, which Mike also does the artwork for. So this is some Micah artwork for Albert's store, coffee shops, two of them, one in Cuyahoga Falls and one in Akron. So that's a good intro, right?
Yeah.
And then so Patrick and the other Arizona, Rusty's in here too. And I always forget. They're both in Arizona, but one of the two of them were telling, like when we were talking about the Fool's Loop, and I was telling them about my rally, and they were like, do not ride the Fool's Loop on your rally.
Not recommended.
I think it was Rusty on that one, but yeah. Oh, Aaron's in here, said I'm only here for Albert.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, and happy Veterans Day, Rusty. Rusty's in the military.
Oh, cool.
I was actually running around. The hospital I shoot for had 3. They actually had 4, but I'm glad they only made me do 3 of them because one was like at sunrise. And I think they planned it last minute and just forgot to tell me, to be honest. But yeah, so to each city that they kind of have a big presence, and they can't do their big luncheon, they usually do, so they did some drive-ups in each community with the mayors, and they gave like American flag pin and a little goodie bag to all the veterans, and had the mayors and some people from the community showed up and waved flags, so it was kind of cool. One of those events that are pretty fun to shoot. I got to talk to a couple guys. One guy who served in World War II.
Wow.
one guy who
becoming
was
rare.
there the month Korea started, so it was kind of interesting talking to these
wow.
dudes. I was talking about cold weather gear with the Korean veteran. So
Sure that he was very sympathetic
yeah.
with you.
Well,
yeah.
he kind of brought it up, and then I'm like, well, that all just would have been heavy wool. Then he was talking about how they would like cover their tents and like, but they'd be in their like heavy sleeping bags just with all their clothes except their jackets on, you
Oh,
know. And,
gosh.
yeah, it just sounded brutal, but obviously, and then on top of that, you're trying not to die. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, it makes it a lot less when you're just bike packing and you're.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah. Wow. Maybe we weren't heroes
Yeah.
on our trip. To rethink that.
Albert made the wise decision to ditch the Black Canyon Trail for dirt roads.
The first time I didn't make the full loop. The second time I did the full loop and made it all the way down the Black. Oh well, yeah. I guess that's partly right. I jumped off the Black Canyon somewhere. And I was on it for a long.
You did, yeah. All
Most
the single
of it,
track stuff.
Yeah, most of that. 2 days, two full days worth, and then I hopped off and took what turned out to be a you can rent like ATVs and like go off these off road roads.
Yeah.
I hopped off the Black Canyon and ended up on one of these ATV roads. So all these like little families with other kids in these ATVs are like just like zipping by while I'm trying to like go up this 25% grade on my bike.
They're probably like, what the hell is this guy doing?
And I was cursing Micah because he's like, no, there's a route. Here it is.
Micah's poolside on the Wi-Fi, sending you
It's
links.
actually-
Go this way.
Yeah.
I was poolside. Yep.
So, I don't know if that was the wisest decision to go that route, but
So so that adventure
Yeah.
turned out to be quite interesting. And then, so the newest adventure you found it on bikepacking.com?
yeah, Mike found it.
Oh, you found it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, wrong. There it is.
Yeah, originally the plan was to go to Vermont to do.
The Green
Green Mountain.
Gravel growler.
Yeah,
Gravel
Green
Growler.
Mountain Gravel Growler. And a couple people I believe have talked about that route on here too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you guys, you just didn't have
The full day there, and the travel time was just
drive was
too much, so
Yeah.
we would have killed a full day each way.
So instead you guys found this ride,
Mm-hmm.
which I was looking at the stats and I've already heard both of you talk about it a little bit, which just doesn't sound very accurate. They're saying it's a 5 in difficulty. And
Yeah, that kind of led us down the wrong.
Literally down the wrong path.
Literally.
I will say before we get rolling, I am 0 for 2 so far on my bikepacking.com adventures. I've
Third time's a charm.
tried twice and not completed either. This time it wasn't due to near death. It was just, I don't know, for other reasons, but yeah, maybe the third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah.
It's that beer route that we're gonna.
That's the beer
nail.
route. Yep.
yeah, so here's the ride with GPS and a elevation profile too. I could drop this link so you guys know not to follow it.
It's funny when I started looking around for things other than the ride in Vermont, there's not a lot on the East Coast that's on the bikepacking site. A couple of them up in New Hampshire and Vermont, 1 or 2 in the Virginia. I don't even think in West Virginia or Kentucky there was really anything profiled. But I know there's good things around there.
Oh, yeah.
So that was strange. Yeah, because we were really looking for something that was, 5 to 7 hour drive so we could ride on hopefully both days, getting there and heading back home, get a little riding in. But I was surprised by that. But yeah, this once you guys have the link, one of the most interesting things to see on the link is the conversation thread down at the bottom.
Oh, is there?
It's very active and a lot of points I could confirm that there's some similar
yeah.
thinking on what people have to say about this route. One of the one
Yeah,
of the best.
wow, yeah, lots of advice on this route. Like people aren't just writing comments; they're writing.
They're
Great
writing
route,
their
thanks.
own-
profile still out here.
yeah, still, they're writing their own articles. Yeah.
The one guy was like, in the route description, the writer says, lots of water access, lots of streams, camp alongside a stream, fish for don't even bother packing
pull over,
food.
yeah, pull over and like trout fish for a
Yeah.
while.
So one of the comments is like, you're a little casual in your description. The last thing I wanted to do at the end of my grueling day hike-a-biking was fish for trout. It's like, no thanks, man. And that was confirmed.
Well, one thing is funny. Rusty said the southern part of the BCT would be really tough on a gorilla monsoon, and then Brad replied with, "You're only encouraging him, Rusty."
Gotta go back.
Yeah, it's Tim. I think you're the next one to go out to Arizona for that one. Oh my gosh, maybe backwards. We'll ride it backwards. Start at the
there.
southern route of the BCT
Now we're talking.
and work your way around. Yeah.
So I know. Do your photos line up with your? Does it make sense to pull those up? And
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know why the navigation's there, but
I don't know if these will end up being
we'll go
in any specific. Well, yeah, I think probably the next. So yeah, APC 811. That's as we were getting started. When we got there, there was a very large truck and a man coming out of the woods with his bow. He had just been hunting all day to, quote, get away from the crazy wife and kids. And then he offered us a large amount of firecrackers because we might want to take those on the camp. I've had these in here for over a year. Nah, that's cool, man. We're set. Yeah, thank you. Nice guy.
So this is kind of where you began.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you use Dropbox?
Sorry, I know you have a thing about Dropbox. I mean, you could have downloaded them.
If I could figure it out on Dropbox.
Yeah. Oh, you can? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they had that option. I mean, they have a printer icon. That's the next thing
That's
I'm gonna do.
what you want
Yeah.
right there. That's the high tech. You're not getting me off Dropbox, man. I
Yeah.
just re-upped.
Yeah, you're invested.
That is our Don't Tread on Me plate.
yeah.
That was actually tread on quite a
Just
bit.
tread on in that parking lot. Yeah, quite a bit, but-
Yeah, so I should pull up the map because I want to see where you guys actually started. Okay, cool. Escape works on Dropbox.
They don't have their own proprietary keystrokes.
Oh, they're gonna make me log in to see it there. But
So we're pretty far north.
are you all the way at
right
the
on
top?
the top? Yeah.
Yeah. Where that P is.
The first
Oh,
group,
gotcha.
yeah.
Oh, so it's like, is this what park is it? This the
George Washington National Forest.
George Washington National Forest. Get
Yeah.
a little context here.
Yeah, very, very northern tip of Virginia, just
All right. I mountain biked somewhere around there coming back. I mean, it was so long ago, and it was pre-digital stuff that I don't know where it was.
Yeah,
I
I
have a
know
couple
exactly where it
photos of
was,
me and
yeah.
my mountain bike,
it's
but
beautiful out there.
yeah,
Yeah, it was.
probably jumped on some small section of something. All right, cool. Yeah, just was kind of curious about where you were. Anyway, so what? I don't know. I guess set it up. Tell me how it. Like you guys set off from the parking lot. Was it normal for a little while, and or gravel roads? Because there's
Yeah,
pictures
no.
of gravel.
Maybe half a mile was that first little rollout was. Good. Yeah, I mean we got there at what, like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So
Yeah.
the first day goal was just to get how many 15 miles in, just to kind of get into the trail, set up camp, and then have a longer day the next day. But yeah, it quickly kind of showed itself to be an interesting, challenging route.
So is this already getting into it in this photo here?
Yeah, in fact, when we started out, it was a like a Jeep trail, I think is what they were calling them out there. It's just kind of a muddy 2-track road, and the GPS was showing that we needed to turn left on a trail, and we passed it doubled back. It's like, I must have missed it. But, I mean, it's pretty obvious if there's anything out here. There wasn't a trail. So we just kind of foraged through the woods and happened upon what was the trail. Maybe another 50 yards across, got onto it. And that was pretty much what we made our way to. And it snaked its way between a couple of small creeks.
Yeah, we had to cross that. I mean, at least twice.
Yeah. And one of the reviews of the route talked about this section, that it was a little challenging because it was very narrow. I think the trail was maybe like 18 to 24 inches wide. And then you have, rock on the one side. And it's not a big drop on the left side, but, enough that it would cause issues if you fell. A lot of trees. And it was, have you ever gone down to Mohican? The mountain bike trail down there?
No, I haven't ridden it. No.
It's been a while, but yeah.
It was really
Oh, wait,
similar
I don't
to
have the
that,
pictures
where
up
it
there.
kind of is very rooty and a little rocky, like some step up rocks.
Like
and,
that with the helmet sitting and stuff.
Yeah. And then narrow. So I'm always concerned about bar clearance on that kind of stuff because I've whacked my bars a few times and.
That looks very narrow.
Yeah, especially I made the wrong decision to leave the lowrider panniers on. I was going to take them off, but then we were packing up. And the route said it was a 5 out of 10, and mostly because of the elevation.
Yeah.
So I was expecting a pretty smooth trail.
Like gravel, but
I
climbing.
was expecting open trail. And yeah, those lowriders were just like hitting and banging into everything, especially on that really narrow part of the trail. They were just getting caught and bumping in.
Yeah, you could see that right there. That's definitely mountain biking with those.
That's like rock garden stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was another thing, the Ranger tires that you had on your bike before, not the most supple things in the world, but had a little more cushion and a little more width than switching to the Terravales, which are great for a lot of things, but on that, it's pretty harsh.
Yeah,
it can be
the
pretty
bigger
harsh.
ones would have been more better.
So you were riding with full camping gear and everything too, right?
Yeah.
So you're loaded bikes
we were
on
loaded.
almost single track, and so almost right away. Or is this real along the creek? So even though it was narrow, was it kind of flat for a little while?
This
part was headed up.
This was headed up, and then it would have those. It was mountain biking, so it would have those like pump hills that you just kind of had to like crush it up. They were short, but they were extreme, and then it would level out a little bit. And then this was slightly climbing up along this way. This is a meat stick break because
6 miles in, already frustrated from the trail being not what we thought and kind of getting knocked around on the bags. The chain popped.
Oh, you dropped the chain.
No, it just completely
broke.
Completely broke the chain. So,
yeah,
it's already getting kind of late because we got a late start.
Yeah.
We're only 6 miles in, and
snapperoo.
Snap. So luckily I had a chain tool.
Yeah, you took
and
care of it.
a spare links, so was able to cut it and reattach it, but not the best start to a 4-day
4-day
trip.
planned trip. Yeah.
Exactly.
Were you able to get your mind off of that? Like, did it take you some time to not worry that the chain was gonna break again, or
no,
were you
once
pretty
I rolled
confident?
out, yeah, I forgot about it.
Okay, I know my mind would have been on that.
Yeah.
I broke a chain just doing Ohio to Erie, and I didn't have any extra links, and I have a triple on my old truck that I was riding, but I just made sure I'm like, just don't extreme cross chain, and with that bike it's fine because with the triple you can find the gears you need, especially on a paved, fairly flat ride. So it's just that whole thing of like.
Did you have a spare pin or how'd you?
I just had my chain tool, and it's
so
9-speed, so there's no quick links or anything, so you could just.
But you put a new pin in, or put the pin back.
Just put it right through to a shorter setup, but never on something like this. But now I always do carry extra quick links and a little length of chain with me, especially with the But yeah, not on. I'm never on any 6 miles into 4 days, like
on a 1x.
Yeah,
So
we were 3 days in on a bike path, and chill road tour.
But,
Fixed it.
Got it going. Oh, so Rusty asked about the setup, so this is a good photo for that. I could even zoom in on there a little bit.
Yeah, so I rode the same bike that I did for the Arizona trip for the Fool's Loop, but I've swapped it from the drop bars to a pretty wide flat bar, which I really loved on this trip. That kind of transformed the bike for me. And it's just much more agile, and you know, it's a psychological thing too. If I'm on a drop bar bike, my mind is saying I should be going a certain speed, or you know, approaching climbs and things in a certain way. On that flat bar bike, it just relaxes me a little, and I can be a little more patient and also feel more in control. So I really love it with that. Tail pack, big frame bag, and then the Salsa anything cradle, I think it's called, on the handlebar.
Oh, yeah. How wide are those tires? Those are
Those are 3-inch.
3-inch?
Yeah, and same tires that I had on the Fool's Loop too. Those things are not fast, but they are so capable. I mean, they're just steam
It seemed like they were
rollers.
the most.
It was amazing to ride behind and just see the path he would go, and it would just like hold straight through like this. I'm like, there's no way anybody's gonna get through that, and he just like, it would just straight line. It would hold true.
Yeah, they were very forgiving. There were a lot of times on water crossings, especially where I'd hit a rock under the water and it would just kind of correct itself.
Yeah.
And as long as I kept pedaling, it just kept going.
Speaking of water crossing.
There we go.
Yeah, so your bike's the Monsoon with, what do you have on that, 48s?
There might be
That's
48s,
right.
46 or 48s. Yeah, definitely too small for this.
Yeah, look at that.
But you did try it.
I went through quite a few.
Yeah.
It looks like even before you hit the water has one possible line, maybe, there's a bunch of routes, so you already
Yeah,
go
you're
in.
already-
like,
yeah.
You're already slipping and
Yeah.
sliding. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of setup, yeah, this was a much shorter and easier route to pack for than the Arizona route. But I think it was just a lack of preparation. I just had a bunch of stuff in the car, and I just threw it all on there at the last minute. I think I had more stuff on my bike for this shorter trip than I did for the longer trip that we had no like access to any supplies for. So I think I way overpacked and didn't set it up, you know, the way
Yeah.
it should be.
Yeah, but that's a tough. They said were yours 29 by 2.8, but yours were
They're
3.
three. Yeah, and they're 650s.
Dylan said, "I think you mean you floated across the water."
That's a
Oh, Black Belt said, "Lucky that broken chain didn't twist and bend. I've had that happen."
Oof.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've never had that problem at least, but yeah, you guys are in the realm here where that kind of stuff, I'm sure.
I think the next few photos are in our first campsite.
So how far did you get?
I think we got about 18 miles.
first day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So you
sounds
still
about
ended
right.
up getting 18 miles.
Yeah, once we got through this rough section, it was just kind of like in the deep woods. It rolled out onto the on the Blue Ridge at that point.
Yeah.
I think you popped out on the Blue Ridge and you rode the Blue Ridge for a while, and then hopped on another kind of more trail.
More of a like, yeah, we popped out on the Blue Ridge, and then I think we went on to like more of a gravel road.
Yeah,
Oh,
A little
so
more
then-
of what we were anticipating.
Right.
Yeah, so then you were actually
we were able to
moving.
get some miles. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
This is so cool. We were on I think Mill Creek Road is what it was called, and we just turned onto it after a very long sustained climb, and it was starting to get a little dusky out. We were like, all right, we should start looking for camp. There's a little town called Nash that was maybe 3 more miles up the road, and I saw that there's a campground off of that. I'd called that campground ahead of time, but they were booked all the way through the end of the season. I thought maybe we can get there and just like either stealth it or they'll have mercy on us or something.
Yeah.
So we're starting to go up this Mill Creek Road and Mill Run. That's what it is, Mill Run. And we glanced down over the
Just
hill.
kind of look over the.
Yeah, and there
Side.
was a couple of cars with their campsites set up, and it wasn't an official campground. It was more like a fishing hole. We're like, oh, that looks cool.
That doesn't look too bad. That's right there.
Yeah.
That's right there. So we doubled back and scooted through their campsites and went a little further in and found a really nice spot. And by the time we parked our bikes and got our tent set up, it was pitch black out.
Oh, really?
So, yeah,
We were super lucky.
good timing to find that.
And then we learned the next day that this camp was at 850 feet above sea level. Nash is at 2,400 feet above sea level. So that would have been our next 3 miles. It would have been a horrible way to end the day.
Slow, you probably would have been in the dark. And
Yeah. And pretty busy road too.
Yeah, this worked out.
I always think traveling through, who was commenting earlier, he rode in the early spring, rode all the way across the country.
Oh, wow.
And but he camps, like he'll just like he's had parts where he was basically on the highway, but it was legal in it was one of the last states, so maybe Arizona. But he'll just go
A couple feet off the road.
and find a spot, or find a bridge and solo or off a park, and he's like, "This ain't acceptable here," or he stealth camps, and he'll just when he gets up in the morning, he's like, when you get up in the morning and stealth camping, just break it down. Then if the cop comes by and you're drinking your coffee, you're just taking a break.
Yep.
And I'm like, I wish I had the balls to do that. I think with a group, I would, but it's solo. It's pretty,
Easier solo. It might be easier to convince the
Yeah.
taking a break thing.
Yeah,
true,
definitely. Yeah.
You're all just
Yeah, once you get into that tent, even in a legit spot, I don't know, you're just very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that a couple of times on the Fool's Loop, we were just in places where I'm like, man, I feel really closed off from the world and completely unprotected. So yeah, kudos to you traveling through.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There's a good shot of Albert's bike.
with too much
Too much stuff.
too much baggage.
Well, we both, so we had both talked about hey, we'll both grab some snack stuff and then we can just share it amongst each other before we start riding. But we had each bought enough to supply both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Twice.
left.
I think we both had enough for both of us twice.
Oh, really?
We left a bunch in the car, and still along
I
the
still
way.
when
Grab a little
when I'm
meat stick.
driving, I can just reach back and grab a Bobo's. Stick. It's nice.
Rick asked if you guys lock your bikes when you're sleeping. If we're not somewhere where there's anywhere to lock them, we just lock them together, loaded touring bikes. Or even when you're breaking them down to camp, I figured they're so unwieldy if they're locked together. Do you guys do it?
I didn't even take a look.
I didn't take a lock either.
Oh, you
I
didn't
didn't even
take a
think
lock?
about it. Yeah.
Huh. I always at least even bring what we call, Otis calls the honesty locks.
Yeah.
It's just something to keep someone from walking off. It's not going to keep someone from stealing your bike, but if you're outside a restaurant or a store, it just means they can't just,
Right.
Then I do the helmet lock too. If you
Right.
don't, you put the helmet around the fork
Yeah.
or the rear triangle and just keep someone who doesn't know
Yeah.
from rolling off.
Probably a
with
good idea, but yeah, I didn't do that.
it. Yeah. Huh,
It's stink to wake up and not have your bike there. That's for sure.
It seems like you guys were fairly remote, but
It was remote, and yeah, I think the only people that were out in that area are people that are doing similar, like-minded things.
yeah.
So,
I try not to be paranoid, but even the first night at Nutmeg, I wasn't worried about anyone stealing my stuff, and we just all leaned them up in a teepee, and then I just, out of habit, threw my
Just threw
locker
something
on. The
around,
first,
yeah,
the second night, I don't think I did. I'm like,
Peace
no
of
one's
mind.
here stealing a bike, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Peace of mind. We did meet a couple stray dogs on our first night that came wandering through the site. They must know people camp there pretty often, and I'm sure there's fish guts and stuff left behind too from fishermen. And they must have lived just up the road, but they were pretty friendly.
Oh, nice. As long as they're friendly.
Yeah.
Is this the next morning then?
Yeah. So this was right behind our tents.
Oh, nice.
The Mill Creek or Mill Run. Pretty sizable body of water, stream of water. Deep in some places. Supposedly lots of fish. We didn't see too many. We did opt to pack our own food.
Yeah,
but we
you
did bring
not.
a fishing pole.
we brought a fishing pole. They weren't biting.
We-
Might
Albert-
have been lack of skill, but they weren't biting.
Albert bought me a telescoping collapsible fly pole.
Oh,
Super cool, and it was really fun to try it.
It was.
We'll definitely try it again.
It's kind of designed for bike packing. It folds down to 14 or 16
Yeah.
inches. Super light.
And it
And all you need is it's just the line and this little fly.
Yep.
And there's no reel or anything. It's all by hand. so like it keeps the weight down and keeps the packing down.
I think Russ on Pathless Pedal, I know he rides to fish a lot, so he must
okay.
have something similar. Oh, is that just a cool? Is that rock?
The bottom part's rock, the top are skulls.
Oh, okay. I was like, the rock looks like a skull.
It does, yeah. Yeah, this is the second day, so first full day. Just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous dirt and gravel road that we got to ride on for quite a while. I think it was Wetmore Road. And it just went through humble little homes and some really nice homes and just kind of crawled on the back roads. Beautiful tree coverage, lots of climbing.
That looks like a fruit tree in the foreground. Looks like a peach tree. Or something. I'll let you drive. I'm going to grab a beer.
Cool.
I think Rick asked if we were filtering water
Oh,
on
yeah.
the way, and
yeah,
yeah, that's exactly. The water was really nice.
I got to imagine that was a good filter
there was
of water in those.
Plenty of it. Everywhere we went, there was a stream or river going by, so yeah, there was plenty of it.
Yeah, that was relaxing in that sense. Just drink freely. I didn't carry much water.
Right,
Anywhere
yeah, we
we
didn't
went.
have to carry like excess. Just
Yeah, it's nice.
we always knew there was some.
This was same skull formation in the background. There were a lot of rebel flags.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Some battle flags
the
over
other
there.
view.
The route is this the bike shank? The route felt remarkably remote, given its proximity to some major metro areas. This is Dave and Lucy. Do you know Dave and Lucy?
Oh, yeah. So Dave is the dog packer.
Nice.
I had mentioned
okay.
that we were going to be on this tonight.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Awesome, Dave. Glad you joined on, man. Yeah, Dave actually I mentioned to him that you guys will have to get in contact with each other. Your mouse is alive.
Does it make sense
Sure,
for
I
you to
can
have
grab
that? Probably.
He'll have to get a hold of you sometime so you guys can connect, because it'd be cool to have him patch in for a
Oh, yeah,
session
for
to
sure.
talk about dog packing.
Yeah, dog packing. Yeah.
Yeah, the route felt very remote, despite the fact that we were on the Blue Ridge. I mean, it's not far from a truck stop. You can just if you have to, you could just ride the Blue Ridge all the way to a major intersection at the end or at the start, and you're surrounded by. We were only a stone's throw from D.C. and Baltimore, and not far from Richmond, but you wouldn't have known. It's pretty calm.
So these are more like the gravel roads that you were anticipating here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a beautiful. I don't know how many miles. Just climb for probably 6 miles.
I think so. Yeah, it's just slow, nice, quiet climbing. Not extreme grades most of the time. Just probably a sustained 5 to 7%, and then at times it would poke up. There were a couple switchbacks that we climbed up through, but it was just kind of a nice sustained effort,
But that first climb, if we camped at 800.
Oh, yeah,
or so,
that-
the first. When we topped out at the first climb, we were over 34?
Yeah. Right. We ended up, when we finally got to the ridge line, I think it was right around 35.
Yeah.
Ah.
So just straight from 8 to 35.
So just yeah, we were talking to me and
Did it.
Albert rode together last week, and I was saying how I've never in my life just done a long
That
sustained
long of a
climb.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I really want to do it. Just settle in a rhythm. I feel like that's like would be my kind of riding. And me and Ben, I was saying we're in Connecticut. It was just constant up and down, and our elevation profile, like for the whole day, the whole time in Connecticut, was pretty significant. But nothing was ever like that. Like it was just a constant up and down, not ever like a sustained climb or topping out or.
I liked the sustained, because you kind of locked your brain in, and then there would be a 3-mile descent.
Yeah,
A
long
and
descent.
you just kind of again lock in. You're like, here we go.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some fun on the thing I just earned, and then we'll earn it back again.
Yeah, traveling through out west, he had some descents like coming out of the Rockies, and he could say exactly, but I think somewhere like 12 miles.
Dang,
Oh my
12 or
gosh.
20. I think one might have been a 20. But yeah, just just descending for,
Yeah, your arms almost get tired just from
Yeah.
controlling the bike and having, if you
Hands
do need
going
to,
numb.
if you break once in a while,
yeah.
if you're into that.
You
type
don't
of thing.
break.
If you're
Yeah.
into that type of thing.
Yeah. For you guys who don't know Albert, this guy will descend like a World Tour pro. So
Yeah, you'll have to describe your use of all
All the road,
pavement.
all the
Yeah,
road.
all the road.
yeah, I think you have a photo of that in here too. So
Yeah, it was just weather was perfect. It never really got above the low 60s for us, but it didn't get much, down to 40 maybe in the coldest. So you could really push hard and know that you could exert some effort without overheating or having to worry about that.
Dylan was saying that it's worth researching the water because fracking
Oh,
was something I wouldn't think about, but
okay. Yep.
yeah,
Good thought.
that's something I internalize for other trips. He said, yeah.
Wow.
Did you do any research about fracking or mining runoff? There's a ton of water in Ohio for single track bike packing trips, but pretty much all of it is contaminated. And then Rick said, do you fold the dogs before you pack them?
That's a question for Dave. I don't know. Dave will
Yeah,
have to
Dave
answer
will-
that. The dog was fully uncreased when we saw it, moving on its own power.
It looked light though.
It did look like it. Yeah.
Gotta be a light
It's a
dog.
titanium dog.
Titanium.
So yeah, this was when we exited out onto Blue Ridge, I think, on the second day. It was just kind of I don't know. It's so cool when you're out in the middle of nowhere for a while and then all of a sudden you emerge again onto a paved road or some sort of populated area. And you really feel like you're coming back into civilization a little bit. And
Yeah.
it's a mixed emotion of, I want to get back out into the crazy, but nice to be in touch with something that's developed as well. Almost like you've experienced a secret back there.
Mhm.
Now, one thing I found funny was when we were on the gravel road at the start of the day, we're riding by all these just like truly gorgeous homes. And I had a thought of like, who owns these homes? And sure enough, there was advertisements for Airbnbs and vacation rental. And that was my suspicion, was that, well, nobody owns these homes anymore. Like nobody
Yeah.
lives in these homes anymore. The only way you can sustain that is to rent it out most of the time.
Mhm.
It's just not that kind of, we don't live in that economy anymore. Aaron, you are allowed to comment in the thread today. I saw that you were suggesting that maybe I didn't want your voice heard, but today, please contribute.
I think she chimed in and made fun of me about having a mechanical earlier.
Oh, I missed
Okay,
it.
all right. Well, you've met your quota.
Yeah. Cut off.
We saw a few cyclists out on the Blue Ridge.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the road groups were.
Roadie pace liners. And
Yeah,
stuff.
and it's a nice move, fast rolling, obviously good elevation and stuff. So yeah, and there's a lot of day riders out there.
Is there it's like the Blue Ridge, what you were showing, is that the Blue Ridge and this is the Blue Ridge?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then there's also like a highway that goes not too far, right?
It's the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Blue Ridge Parkway.
Yep,
Okay.
that's this, which
Okay.
is just a 2-lane.
Yeah, it always. I mean, from
narrow.
north to south, it looks like this.
So it's all, oh, cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
all
that looks
just
like almost like a European, like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be a WPA project
Hmm.
because it's got the classic stone walls that you see in
Yeah.
other places out west that have similar features.
Yeah, that's about perfect. That's what
Yeah. I don't know why I photographed these. We must have climbed something, and I wanted to make sure I remembered that we
Yeah.
had done that.
oh yeah, I do all that.
This is on the Blue Ridge again, but as we went up here, there was quite a bit of fog. We were now getting high enough that we were riding into the clouds.
Hmm.
And just up to our right, in fact, this is one of the highest points. Just up to the right, there's a winery. Oh, Molnar.
BYOT.
Yeah,
You're hosting.
it's in here.
Yeah, there's a winery up there that looked like it had an incredible view. Albert wouldn't let us stop. Said
You
wine,
guys were using
wine was
bike-
for wussies.
Yeah. You
They
said
would-
wine is for woodsy?
That's what he told me. He's
want-
like, keep pedaling.
Didn't look bigger now.
Keep pedaling, dork.
Keep pedaling, dork.
Drink when you get done with the day.
Yeah. But first pedaling.
Wine in a rocks glass.
Wine in a rocks glass. He asked how you guys navigated, but you guys were using Wahoos or Garmin's, right? Yeah.
Yes. Which, that's a godsend.
Changed my life in like a month.
Yeah.
To
Like,
not
how did
have
I,
to, like,
already, how did I ride without
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
pull the phone out and keep checking. Well, and then most of this was signalless,
Yeah.
you know, so you would have struggled if you had to do it with the phone.
But even just I've said this before, my favorite thing about the Wahoo is that I don't pull out my phone.
Right.
It's like not even so you pull it out to navigate, then you get sucked into their phone
distracted
world.
by other
And
things.
like now if I throw my phone instead of in a pocket in like the bag or something, and I have, you
gone.
know,
Yeah, it's not until you stop or at the end of the day when you're.
and I still have the text and phone call notifications on there.
Yeah.
Nothing else, but like that's good enough to be like, okay, I don't need to deal with that now. You know, and you don't open it up and then all of a sudden I'm on Instagram and like I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing. I mean, navigating is awesome. Knowing your stats is awesome. But not messing with my phone when I just want to have a good day
Yeah,
on my
keeps
bike,
you-
I think is the best.
Keeps you
And-
focused on the route. Yeah.
Yeah.
If anybody in the thread can help me with this, or Tim, I have never been able to get my text to show up on my Wahoo. It's got to
Ah.
be something on my phone. I have to have some sort of privacy or limitation turned on the phone, because I've unpaired and repaired and gone through all the settings.
And it's still uploading your rides automatically.
Oh
to
yeah,
Strava
all
when
that
you get
works.
on?
I get any
Someone else
VIP, anybody marked VIP in my email shows up. I'll get an alert on my email. I'm like, I really don't want my email showing up on this. I want to
Huh.
think about it. Phone calls come through,
I think
but not text.
might have been Brad was having that problem. Which Wahoo are you using?
Rome, is that the bigger one?
Is it the last version of the Roam?
Yes.
So I know Brad has a problem with that. So there might be something in a newer cell phone, a
Firmware.
newer
Oh,
smartphone, and the
yeah.
older Wahoo. Just don't quote me on that, but I just know that I think it was
Right.
Brad or Kenny that was having that problem with the older Roam. But
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to dig around a little bit.
no paper maps. No, that's the other Brad. Brad Zis came on the stream and he held up.
Nice.
Like everyone knows when I get into my map thing. Well, some people hate it, but I go deep into Google Maps, and Brad brought physical maps.
Oh my
So-
gosh.
from his trip. So.
So this is a major turning point on the second day. We had turned off on this a Jeep trail, and some of the thread had talked about, you know, the Jeep trails are really torn up now because they're allowing Jeeps on them. And people are back out in the world doing this stuff, and it's been rainy. It was in great condition for us. We were lucky. Though right when we turned on it, there was a Jeep broken down with a jack on its transaxle. It had ruptured something. And then we rode up a ways, and there was some hikers that had a dog with them, and then a guy walking from further up in the trail back down. And I have a feeling he was either looking for missing parts from that Jeep, or he also had broken down. And then a little later, right around this point, some guys pulled up in an SUV, and were asking us if we had if we lost our dog, because they had seen another dog running around. Just like, oh my God. They're like, yeah, there's another abandoned vehicle up there. So people were having fun, but it was a really sweet kind of rugged climb up to this point. And this came up towards the Appalachian Trail as well. And so there was a trail crossing there. This is where it turned onto the Tory Ridge. So when we looked at the route on the bikepacking site, that's not the route that we chose. There's one of the guys in the comment thread had built his own alternate route that skipped some of the worst parts, the hike-a-bike stuff. And so that's the one we opted for. And it's pretty much same mileage, same climbing. It's just you took some alternate trails. Somehow, at some point, the Wahoo was looping us back to our starting point. Now, you know when you're like on a multi-day trip and you turn your Wahoo back on and it says route to start, you say no.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go back.
Yeah.
You want to continue. That's what I did. But it routed us back to our start. And we didn't know it at this point. And the trail, the route is so loopy and intersecting. When you look at it, it crosses itself several times that it was, if you were on the towpath, it would have been pretty obvious. Like, wait a minute, we're headed north again. Why?
Yeah.
There was no real indicator of that. And so here we are. We're about to now start going into this just mess of, I don't know if it's granite or what the rock is up there, but these like knife-edged rocks and just big piles. So this is like a glory moment of just beautiful moss and leaves and a beautiful ride. And then all of a sudden it was about to all get haywire.
Yeah, we were having a great time. Like that was this most of that second day was beautiful.
Yeah, we were 35 miles in at this point, just having a blast. And it was.
You still have your computer at this point?
Yeah.
So you both messed up the route, and you didn't have any disparity, and think like, oh.
The route did not sync on his.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So this part was super cool. So narrow. And all this mountain laurel was surrounding us. We were like riding through a tunnel. And it was a little rocky, but manageable. You can see how enclosed that is.
Yeah.
It's just really sweet. And it was maybe like 2 or 3 o'clock at this point. So factoring we had about 3 hours of daylight left. And I was pretty conscious of that because I just kept thinking, all right, we got to make sure we're in a spot where we can.
And the plan for the day was only to do 38 or 40.
Yeah.
So we were pretty close. We were feeling like we were pretty close to the end of the day because the next day was going to be like a 60-some miler. And
So that changed our plans a little bit.
Holy shit.
So I'm looking up at what we had just come down. And I mean, it's just an absolute mess. And like we were saying before the stream started, maybe if you're on a full suspension mountain bike and you really like rocky descents, that would be fun for somebody. But not on two rigid, fully packed bikes.
That would be
On 48 millimeter tires with low riders. Yeah.
and we had just gone through that really narrow, overgrown section, so we were like pretty deep. You're not turning back at that point.
Yeah.
No, we were in.
You're kind of lured into this, and then then this comes up, and like, well, I can't turn back, or it can't be like this for that long.
Yeah, you would get through this section and
it's
keep
gonna
going.
get back to
Yeah, so this, as we found out, is the Tory Ridge. We are on the ridge line of the mountain. We're at about 3,500 feet, and it's damp because we're in the cloud, and these rocks were damp. So you're just in your riding shoes because both of us were clipless.
Yeah.
So you're like slipping and sliding, even though they're mountain bike shoes. So they've got decent soles on them.
Mine were worn out because they're the same ones that've been.
They almost got thrown away at the end of the ride, but not quite.
Yeah. Well, maybe one more. One more adventure.
I mean, they survived this.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're thinking like, man, I don't want to break a cleat on my shoe. And then like the rocks were just like crushing into the side.
And
of
with
your
loaded
feet.
bikes, you can't even shoulder them, so it's not
No,
like
you just
could
pissed
even
the whole
hike.
time. You're just like this effing bike.
It doesn't even look like you could easily roll your bike over that next to it. Yeah.
Albert had to come back and help me get mine down. He got his
We
down,
took
and I was
turns
like, dude,
and-
can you give me a hand, man? I just feel
So
like
this
I'm
is
the glass
also-
over teacup.
Photos never show this, so this isn't just like some crazy rock field. It's also steep.
It was very steep. It was very steep.
Oh man.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, like it was a pretty severe angle down, So
I'm glad you stopped and took a photo.
It was both ways.
yeah, too.
There's times where I get mad and I like don't like. Then I'm like I
Yeah.
don't have that captured afterwards, and I'm like I wish I would have at least had a
Yeah.
photo of how awful that was. Oh yeah.
But yeah, so it just kept continuing. It just you would get through that, and then it would be a little loamy and soil. You'd ride for maybe 15, 20 yards, and then you're like, back off. So, hero over here, at one point, after we've done this for maybe an hour, we get to a point where it's now rideable. And I think our assessment of what was rideable changed a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I
So
think
at some point you're like, this is rideable. I'm riding my bike. I'm here to ride a bike. And so Albert was ahead of me, and I look. He's riding side saddle. He's got his left foot clipped into his right pedal. We're mountain
Forgot
biking
about that.
at this point. We are mountain biking. We're dodging rocks. We're on single track, going downhill, and he's riding with his left foot clipped into his right pedal. And I was like, "That's pretty cool." He's like, "Yeah, got tired of throwing my leg over the
Just
saddle."
hop on and off when I need.
That's
Amazing.
pretty great. Anger will do a lot for you, I think. It was gorgeous up there. Given more time, we'll have to see if David has any thoughts on what it's like to camp up here, because I think he ended up camping on the ridge line that night.
Oh yeah, so he said stupid steep on a loaded bike and add the wet on top of it. Blackball changed his credit card information, so he's showing up as a new member.
Oh, gotcha.
We were trying to get together. He's in Toronto, but with the border restrictions, we haven't been able to pull it off.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it was. This would have been a cool spot to camp. There was a really flat clearing, maybe 10 feet down into here. If anybody ends up on the Tory Ridge line right in this area, I don't know if there's a geo mark on this file. I can send you the photo. There are 2 lowrider bags hanging from a tree.
Too nice.
why is that?
We'll have to hear. Why is that?
You got sick of them?
You hung your lowrider bags out here?
I just unloaded.
I forgot you told
I
me
was
that.
so pissed off. They were just getting hung up on everything, and there was too much weight that was carried around. So there's a food bag for someone that needs it. There's plenty of food. I think
Yeah.
plenty of food. A pair of Crocs.
Straps still attached. Yeah.
2
For safety.
Ortlieb panniers and
Your
yeah,
yellow ones you've had forever?
yeah,
They're just out there?
yeah.
now?
Hanging from a tree.
So food and Crocs, did you leave anything else behind that you couldn't take?
Not on
with you?
purpose, but then dropped a few other things along the way.
Dignity.
Later, but not with
innocence.
this.
Yeah.
No. Innocence, that's what you said.
Yeah. There's dignity out there.
Yeah.
There's innocence.
So Brad asked, does every bike trip, Albert, involve some level of disaster? And as long as I've known you, the answer would be yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've known you since high school.
Okay, fair enough. Probably should have consulted with some of his lifelong friends before joining on these journeys. Well, Chermack had thought about joining us, and I'm just, I love you, Andy, but I'm really glad that I don't know if I would survive a trip with Andy and Albert.
Yeah.
Two people very capable of patching up whatever happened.
Yeah.
So that's a bonus, but Chermack definitely has some
I'm
things
surprised you didn't take a picture of the panniers, but then again, whatever was going on at that moment might have been not like. I'm sure you were
All
probably
right,
like,
Albert, pose.
you were probably like you. I know, Albert. You're raising your phone, and then he turned around and you're like,
Nothing.
Man, I'm really upset about this.
It looks like I'm not getting my text on the line.
It was just after this when we passed Dave,
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's right.
and he gave us some good advice.
Yeah, so tell that. You were telling me about that,
yeah.
I believe.
So yeah, you guys have seen the terrain we've just traversed, some of it, and so all of a sudden we're in the middle of this foggy. Yoda is somewhere in this vicinity. We're in Dagobah, and a dog comes running out of nowhere. Now we've been on this for 3.5 miles in 2 hours. It's just slow going, frustrating. We're in the middle of nowhere, and a dog comes running out of nowhere. It was so surreal.
And it looked happy. It was just
so happy. The thing was just prancing around, having a blast. And then we look up, and coming up over a small hill was a cyclist. Comes over, is on kind of a plus bike like mine, but pulling a trailer. All smiles. He's like, "Oh, all right, bikers, bike packers, all right, man, all right." And he's, pumped and excited to see other people doing it. And he's like, "Oh man, just be careful, guys. It gets pretty wild, pretty rough up here, a little ways ahead." And Albert responds with, Oh, that's where it gets tough. That's where it gets rough. I think the word was tricky.
Oh, that's
It gets
where
yeah,
that's
it gets
where
tricky back here, pretty steep and messy. Oh, that's where it gets tricky. And poor Dave all of a sudden is like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like, no, man, this has been a day, all right." And it also gets tricky back there.
Yeah, just for your reference.
Yeah. So he asked, how far are you guys in? Like, on this part, we're maybe 3 miles, 3.5 miles. He's like, oh, okay. He was just about 1.5 miles in. And he was like, hey, but the good news is you guys are almost done. He asked us what we were riding. We're like, oh, Blue Ridge Wrangler. He's like, oh, me too. That means you guys are almost done. I was like, no, we're second day.
Started?
Yeah, we're just on our first full day.
That's kind of where it sunk in.
And then I was like, oh no, okay, where are we? So sure enough, about 4 more miles away was the car. So
Which might have been the best thing that could happen at the
it
end of
was
this.
honestly, yeah, it was fortunate. So yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you come up. How does it transpire that you get when you really do realize where you are? Like,
I mean, I was very confused but relieved because I thought,
Yeah.
all right, I don't know what we'll do when we get back to the car, but
oh, so you knew after you did. Like,
once he
make that-
said that, I zoomed out on my Wahoo as far as I could go, and I could see the little checkered
It was a
flag.
checkered
And I'm like,
flag rather than
Yeah.
okay, that's interesting.
Yeah,
That's an indicator that we're almost back to the car. Yep.
But by that point, I mean, we had been on this thing for three hours,
Yeah.
so it was already getting late at that point.
It's getting late, and yeah, I think we were both kind of like, who knows what we'll do when we get to the car, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
At least we'll be at a vehicle, and we can decide what we want to do. So we got through the tricky stuff that we've been warned about. And man, once we
I love that it gets tricky over here. Oh,
you don't know what we've been through,
yeah,
man.
and also the jovial. Like, anyways, yeah. Just so you know, you might have to walk a little bit.
Yeah. We're bloodied and bandaged.
Yeah.
And we're maybe another half mile down the trail, and Albert shouts from behind me. He's like, "That guy he was pulling a fucking trailer." It like dawns on both of us, like
Oh,
we're
no.
slugging through the misery here, and this guy's pulling a trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness. What a bad man. So yeah, we got down to a point, we got to some rideable stuff that was fun, rough stuff, and I think we were both so eager to ride that we were just like, whatever, I'll put up with whatever this is. Zipping down a nice little descent, and the Fargo was primed for that stuff, so I was moving pretty well. Got down to a trail crossing where we had to turn. I was waiting for Albert. He came up, and I noticed his Wahoo bracket was flopped upside down, and it had been beeping and stuff, when you miss a turn or you're
Yeah,
off the route
yeah.
and where you stop and go. So I assumed he had just taken it off and put it in his bag. So I was like, oh, did you take your Wahoo off? He's like, no.
And then I looked down and realized that it was just the bracket on the bar.
So we
So
looked for a
hiked-
while.
So we hiked back up the ridge line.
We did.
Like, set your
foot.
bikes, yeah.
We set
Oh
the bikes
yeah,
there.
the bike stayed.
Then we hiked a full mile back,
I think we did.
back up, searching both sides of
Yeah.
the trail for it, and didn't find it. So.
I just kept feeling like it has to show itself. That stuff was so brush covered and so thick, and that plasticky thing could have just bounced.
Even the rocks, it falls in a little.
Yeah.
Yep. So it was nice to be without the bike for a little bit. That actually
Just to move, just
was
to walk.
a
Yeah.
mind-clearing
Was it?
experience. It was helpful. It was for me. It was for
Was
me. But I will say, I had thought the whole time, like, this would be a challenging hike, let alone on the bike. And
Yeah, so
it
it's
was.
still a hike that was tough.
Yeah, just no footholds.
Real quick, Rick asked about your how you deal with coffee when you.
Yeah, Brad was right. It's the Mir collapsible pour over kit. So there are 3 metal sheets, maybe this big each, that, I mean, fold into something this thin
Yeah.
that you can just slide in your bag, and the filters pop in it. So, and then you unfold it and it turns into a pour over cone with you put the filter in. And yeah, I pre-measured each day. I would put into a little 2-ounce bag. I put 25 grams of coffee.
So you do actually weigh it out before you go.
Yeah, beforehand. So I had, whatever, 6 bags of 26 grams.
Pudgy said he hates that the Wahoo doesn't have a tether. Oh yeah, he dropped his riding with our friend Dylan in Columbus on trails. Dylan took me on. There is a safety screw on the mount that I never have messed with because I'm always.
Or even if you had like a beacon, like
Yeah.
you can like on your phone pull up the
Find
app
my
and have
phone.
like a
He
like
said the
like
Wahoo
like a
app
beep.
should have that, right? It's
That's
got
a
to
good point.
It's got to know where it is, doesn't it? I mean, I guess
It's
they're only
communicating.
linking through Bluetooth, so once you're out of Bluetooth range, but you think that would be possible to put something
Mm-hmm.
in it, right? It should have the GPS mark, right? There's
Right.
got to be a way. I don't know. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Next one.
it's an expensive 3 miles.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
in every way.
In every way. Once we got through that area, we got to some really fun riding back in the woods, and we were both just saying, like, this is what it feels like to ride a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, it was amazing the exuberance that came back immediately of just moving fast through leaf-covered rocky ground, gravel ground, with trees zipping by, and it's just so exciting and fun. And that's what we came for. That's what we came for. So nothing about that 4 miles, 5 miles, 4.5 miles was a 5 out of 10. That's like,
Yeah.
it's upsetting and it's frustrating because you're throwing people into something that just call it a 7 out of 10, an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that was what was
That's
most
all you have to
frustrating
do,
is
you
just
know?
knowing that another cyclist put that out there
Yeah. It's
and
like,
recommended it and
this is a possibility. Yeah.
made it sound like it wasn't a big deal.
Rick asked about making a coffee into tea bags, and
We
Aaron
don't.
could probably speak to this better, and so could you. But isn't there just a couple companies that actually do that for coffee roasters? It's not like you can just do that process, right?
Yeah, it's like you can just send them your coffee and they'll freeze dry it and put it in the bags.
But it's an expensive process that like no local coffee shop could just do in house.
They wouldn't do it in house, but I think
Yeah.
Artisan has those tea bags. I mean, a lot of roasters have those like
Yeah.
to go tea bag type style. It's just the process that you have to own or
Yeah.
send it out and have it done, and they'll ship it back to you.
We've done that. We've used those for bike camping,
Yeah,
bike
they were-
touring.
They were nice.
I double up on whatever they say. It's not quite strong enough,
Mhm.
but it's good enough for a morning cup when you
I
don't
think-
want to deal with a lot more than that.
I think a
But-
lot of those are designed for 8-ounce
Mm.
cups for some reason. So yeah, it helps to have
Yeah.
two. I mean, even if you want like a 12-ounce cup of coffee, you're gonna need
Yeah.
Yeah.
a little stronger.
That's what I use on the trips, or either the little packets that you could pour in. Swift, I think, is the company
Mm-hmm.
that I was using. Yeah, it's pretty like if you do put in too much water, it gets very bitter very quickly. So you have to be careful about that. If you get the water right, it's a pretty decent cup of coffee, but can go wrong.
So once we got back to the car, we kind of had to make a decision on what we were going to do.
Oh, yeah, new plans.
Either camp, because it was getting late at that point. It was probably 5 o'clock at the time we got back to where the cars were.
Yeah.
And we could have gone right back into the woods or into that area and thrown our tents up and stayed there. But there was the one spot that didn't look like there had much water access, and we were both pretty dry at that point. So we figured the car's right here. We know where we camped last night. We can't be that far away from it. let's throw the bikes and all the gear in the car, drive to where we were last night, and then just stay there for the night so that we don't have to even,
Yeah.
waste time thinking about where else we're going to go. So it was like a probably 25-minute car ride from the parking lot to where we'd camped the night before. But by that point, it was Monday night or Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
And where we were was busy the night before because it was a Saturday night. And so when we showed up there this night, Sunday night, all the spots were open. So we got just to pick the nice one, which is
Down here.
this one here. It's like the beachfront property.
Nice.
So we ended up just keeping our stuff there for 2 days and going out for day trips from here.
Yeah, it was pretty great. When we got back to the car, there was a guy in his car, just kind of watching TV on his phone. But he had a really nice. What did he have on his bike rack? It was an All City, wasn't it? Frame.
The guy that was headed out but waiting in his car.
Yeah, he had a Lauf.
It was almost like a tri-bike with like
Right, he had aero bars.
aero bars.
Is it like a gravel
I
racer?
don't
or
think it was an
something?
All City. I think it was like almost like a road. I don't know.
Oh, it was. I just had it. Oh, it was the carbon salsa, the cutthroat.
Oh, cutthroat.
But he had Lauf fork on it and aero bars. And it was like 5 o'clock.
And we had just rolled out
right
off the ridge line.
Oh, yeah.
Looking at this guy. He's like, yeah, I'm about to get my start probably tonight or in the morning.
Like, all right, man. Well, avoid Tory Ridge. It's not going to go well for you on that. Yeah, I was wondering. I saw a lot of feedback about that on the route. Yeah, don't do it, man.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
do that.
You can have a bunch of carbon shards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a sweet spot, and that we got to have. There was a little fire pit there, nice sandy beach, and the water was crystal clear. Not terribly cold, maybe like 50, low 50s. So we both were able to take a dip. And,
Oh, nice.
Get cleaned up. There's a little, like, you can just see it over here, a little waterfall. So, and then like here, there's a really deep pool. And then over in this area, there's a deep pool. So we had separate bathing areas. No mixed bathing. That comes from my Church of Christ days. Yeah, it gives you a sense.
What are your tents? Because I actually haven't. I think I've seen Albert's once, but well, I guess I did see yours when we met you back on Ohio Deer our last night.
That's right. Exponent, it's a Coleman, like a
Coleman.
bivvy style tent. Yeah. And what's yours? Big Agnes?
Big Agnes,
The
the
big-
one that's made for bike camping.
So the
So
poles
it's a
float
hand-
back just.
Yeah, it's a handlebar mount, so it straps onto the handlebar, and all the what do you call them?
Temp-
All
tension
all the
poles.
poles like fold down to 12 or 14 inches, I
That's
guess.
really
So
nice.
like smaller than a standard tent would, so that so it fits in between the handlebars.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's really light, folds down great, and it's big too because it's like 1.5 or 2 person. So I just like to have the room inside to
I would.
keep my stuff in there.
Yeah.
I pull in my bags at night. It's nice. It's easy to change or clean up or do things in there.
Mine's very stake supported. Like it has the
Right.
poles. It's a Y pole system. But since me and Aaron both have like inflatable
Oh, the
pads now, it
sleeping
helps
pads,
because
yeah.
it keeps the floor out, and that's made a world of a difference. Because she had one at first, and I would just like not use one and be like, "Oh, I'm fine." You get a horrible night's sleep in
Yeah.
a small tent,
Mm-hmm.
and then like so on my side, the tent would be like touching me where it gets wet from the
Ugh.
dew and
Right.
like all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
That morning of the third day, I kind of woke up and lifted the flap open to get a view of the river, and I saw some movement, and it was a river otter just like working its way
Oh,
up
yeah.
slowly, and then it zipped back down with the current. A couple minutes later, another one came. He was like an old guy. He had a big gray beard, making his way up, and then I heard this chirping noise, and it was another otter coming from upstream, just floating down, chirping at his buddies with his head above the water as he came down. think there was one or two more that we both saw.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, awesome.
It was so cool. They were looking for the trout as well.
That's the kind of stuff that you just, yeah.
You can't beat it. So
We found the party.
Yeah,
we found the party.
we brought the party.
We brought
So this was right outside of a trail, a 4x4 trail that's pretty well marked on the map. Actually, if anybody looks at where the Mill Run Road is, highway, whatever it's called, probably be able to find where we camped. And then just up from there is the turnoff that we took onto this Jeep trail. And that was really, really fun. We just a long gravel climb and just went up and up and up. And so, yeah, we started again. Our camp was at 850 feet like the day before. Worked our way up. And by the time we were at 4 miles, I think we were already at like, I don't know what it was, 2,000. Well, it would have probably been 2,400 feet of climbing because we were up into the 3,000s or 2,000 feet of climbing. So yeah, it was just a long climb and then onto the gravel, and that was so fun. Big
And your
climb.
bikes aren't as loaded down now.
Yeah, you feel like
sprightly.
you're-
Yeah, you're just
Whenever you're on
zipping.
tour and you take stuff off, like even if you go like out to, even for us, we'll like ride to a brewery and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this.
Exactly.
Yeah, and this one, like, we would be able to climb quite a ways, and then there would be a big descent with some nice curves, so you could just really rock it down those things. I felt like this was a little touch of Akron.
Yeah.
Did find the owner's manual.
That's great.
No chain in there though. No, so yeah, that kind of gives a sense of.
This is more what you're riding now.
Mhm. It's just really awesome. Again, we crossed the Appalachian Trail. Just I don't know why. I just get kind of a magical feeling whenever we encounter
Yeah.
something like that, especially the AT. 'Cause it's got such a legacy to it.
Yeah, I was hiking in the Smokies when I was younger, and I just remember even like part of it was on the Appalachian Trail. I'm like, oh, this is the Appalachian.
This is it.
There's
yeah.
something about yeah, it does have a.
So we came to a point. I think this is after we came to a point where we.
You'll like this. They were traveling through, said that he likes instant Starbucks, but Dylan came back with instant Starbucks tastes like ground cinder.
I used to use it back in the day when I would go on bike trips, and it works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta have some caffeine.
It's got the
something hot.
caffeine,
Yeah, caffeine. You can even dissolve it in cold stuff, which was nice. Like so,
Ah,
That is
even if you had
cool.
cold water, like an afternoon, just like you need a little bit of a jolt.
We came to a gate at one point.
Yeah, the gate said
Yeah, at the restroom, I'll let you-
absolutely no trespassing.
Yeah. That was the second gate we came to. So we came to one that said no vehicles beyond this point and you're welcome to hike and all this. So we decided to go past that gate. And then the next gate we came to, yeah, hand painted signs.
Hand painted. The AT's that way. You're not on the AT.
Yeah, oops,
Turn
you made a
around.
mistake. It's back that way.
Do not cross this. Yeah.
Yeah. So the determination was gates are a good sign.
Gates are good. Yeah.
Gates are
Must be
good.
some good stuff on the other side of that
That's
gate.
that's right. So we crossed that gate as well, and it was pretty evident that that gate hadn't been opened in quite a while. So we made our way through, and at that point we were on some private property, and it was just absolutely gorgeous.
I snort that shit. That's one way. Yeah. Don't even need the water.
That's right. You take it cold, take it up the nose. I was pretty aware. I'll say nervous when we were on the private property. Just had horrible visions of Albert and I having a deliverance experience. And I just thought, man, can I design any more coffee bags for Albert? Do I have the creative freedom once we've experienced deliverance together? Like, where does that take us? So at one point we did come upon a house pretty quickly. Came upon a house we saw off in the woods a little bit.
That looked like, potentially someone could be living back here.
So we stopped and we just observed
And
for
would
a
definitely
moment.
not want people to be crossing the gate.
They told us very clearly this is
These
a
are
no
the-
trespassing
These are the
zone.
people who put are
Yeah,
serious enough.
these are the sign people.
We put the sign here. There was a
We
gate.
live in the woods for a reason.
Yeah, have you not noticed? Albert was like, "Oh my god, a person!" But it was a propane tank. So
The plan was to get a rolling start and just go by really quickly.
That's how I do it.
that's Albert's like, trail has to go past their house, right? So if we're just going real fast, I'm like, all right, I like that. Not only did the trail go past, it almost went on their front porch. It was basically their driveway.
Oh man, me and
You're
Ben
like,
just had
go,
one of
go,
those
go.
last year. Yeah.
Yeah, no signs of life. But as soon as we got past there was a water crossing, so like you had to really slow down to like cross and
yeah.
get through it. Like, oh, come on, man, go!
The rolling start and just being like head down.
Yeah.
Like I love doing that. Like
I feel like though it's like a cat with its head under the couch. Like we can see you, we
You're
saw
definitely
you, and we can still see you. Yeah. You may be past, but we still saw you. We know you're there. But as we went through, it was very clear that no one had been out here moving about very much. But it got steep. It got really steep and very leafy and a little loose underneath that. So if you didn't keep your butt hunkered down into the seat, and I mean, if you lost purchase, you had to walk it pretty much.
yeah.
You know. So
that is one thing I do like about drops though is for the unanticipated stuff. Like I actually go into the like most
So you
people,
have
I
your
ride on
weight
the
down.
hoods almost all the time.
Yeah.
But when I'm on stuff where you can't see like what's under leaves, I like that drops, that extra sense of security of your hands won't bounce out of drops as easily as I feel like hoods or flats. It's just
Yeah.
it might just be what I'm used to riding all these stuff.
I know
on
you've
drop.
said that before, and it's like and it's great that it works for you. When I'm down there, I feel like I can't steer as well. It's more twitchy.
I feel like I'm lowering my center of gravity, so I'm more stable,
Yeah,
and
interesting.
my hands are locked in. But
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah, that was something I liked about the flats. Although I will say, because I was more upright, my front wheel had a tendency to loft on steep climbs. So then I had to hunker
pushing easy
anyways.
gear. You kind of had to lean over the.
Yeah, especially with the big carbon fork and then no weight on that because I wasn't carrying anything.
And that's a bike
Tires
that's
wanted
made to
float.
kind of have a little
Yeah.
forward weight.
So yeah, I mean, at this point in this photo, we were on national park land again. So I think I said to Albert, well, I feel less worried about being physically violated or shot, but we are now committing a federal crime.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you give, you take.
I'll take the feds.
I will too. Yeah, any day, especially like park feds.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, park feds. These.
Park feds.
Woody shows up.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, what is
What are you
show?
guys doing out here?
Yeah, the guy whose side business is called roach clips.
Before I take you in. You guys want a cookie?
Yeah.
But I am gonna have to take you in.
Yeah.
But before that. But man, it was just lush and gorgeous out there. It really felt like we were having an adventure at this
So
point.
when you said you did day trips then from like a base, did you just like get your phones back out and plan like a loop that would, or you just
We literally just rolled out of the campsite on the one road that we were on, and
so you learned nothing from your previous
Right. Well, no, what we learned was we'll wind up back at our start. If you just ride, you always wind up back at the car.
all
Okay,
roads lead back to
Yeah.
wherever the car is.
That's how it works, right? But that's what the Wahoo did. It gets you back to the start. I don't have to put a route in. Yeah.
Fascinating. You guys do things very
That's why I go
differently.
by camping
than-
with Micah, not Tim, because Tim was like, we should look into this a little bit.
Yeah, like maybe a loop.
Both
Like
are
maybe
pretty free
Micah was just
wheeling.
like, oh yeah, let's go this way.
Let's go this way.
This looks cool.
Yeah, this feels like it's
And
interesting. Yeah, 'cause-
And then-
we kind of tend to plan like a little bit of routes.
Yeah.
That's one. It's just one way to do it.
Just
yeah,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know. All right, seems weird, but drops and flats, right? Drops and
Yeah.
flats.
Exactly.
Now, coincidentally, this route we were on did happen to curve its way back towards where we wanted to be.
Where were we going?
And yeah, this is a graveyard, I think, that we found. So a final resting place for ourselves should we need to end it all. All the other people that had trespassed. So we ended up, at this point, we were trying to figure out how to make our way to get back to a main road.
See, this is where the planning ahead part.
Right, right. But all the surprise would be stolen.
Yeah. But you're in it already, so
Yeah, right. I mean, why didn't you tell us that like a month ago, Tim? Yeah. Real nice.
Or I guess at this point you're also like, who can trust a Wahoo? We just got to do
Exactly.
it on our own. Like,
One of them abandoned us on the ride, jumped off midway. The other one took us back to the car. So the weird thing is, when you're up in the mountains, cell phone doesn't get signal, and so when you want to plan the route, it's harder to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, we just kept riding.
Deeper and deeper.
Yeah,
into
it's
it.
just
Just keep digging.
just keep digging.
Well, we couldn't go back. I mean, what if that propane tank turned
yeah.
into a person?
Yeah. Some beauty shots out there.
Beauty shots, the old bike. Yeah, it was pretty special. Now, I think at this point, though, we were... I don't remember how much we rode this day, maybe 30 miles. It wasn't a real high mileage day. But before we got back to the main road, we had ridden like 26 miles, and I think we had 4,500 feet of elevation, or 5,000 feet of elevation, because we ended up at 30 miles and 5,000 feet, but the last 4 miles were just literally straight back down to our campsite, dropping all that.
So when we popped out of the woods, we knew that there was a little town just around the corner, and so we went there to get some snacks and kind of had some dreams about, I hope they have beer, or I hope they have this and that, because we were hungry and thirsty from riding. And so we went to the store, and sure enough, they had full beer coolers and like any snack you can think of. So we stocked up on beer, pork rinds, candy bars, all sorts of stuff. And we hadn't really talked about the plan.
No.
So I thought we still had like 30 miles that we were going to go ride. So I'm like stocking up for like, we're going to eat all this food and like, man, this beer's going to make me tired, so I better get a Red Bull. So like we were just stocked up, and I thought we were just going to like pull off into the woods and snack for a while and then, ride another 30 miles. So that was my...
And what I knew...
I've heard this side of the story. I haven't heard this side of the story yet.
I was aware that, because on my Wahoo, I could see where we started and what we had done, this big question mark shape. And now here we are, and our campsite's right there, and we're just going to bomb down this hill that we've climbed up. We're going to bomb down this thing, and our campsite is a mere 5 minutes down the road.
So you're loading up to party. You're loading up to have another day out.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I don't know if you remember the photo several back, but that's what it says, is party.
Yeah.
So that's what I was there to do.
He was in party mode since then.
Yeah, we climbed 4,500 feet.
Yeah, now we party.
Yeah. I'm on vacation.
So it's hilarious. Yeah, we hadn't talked about that. So the planning part.
Yeah. Oh,
You
again,
know,
back to
yeah.
planning.
Back to the
Communication,
planning.
planning. Yeah, the whole thing
Yeah.
people usually do when they travel together. Yeah.
Yeah, if you just keep it interior, though,
Yeah.
there's fewer arguments because you don't like have conflicting plans.
Yeah. You don't even know what the other person's doing. You
Exactly.
can't be mad about it
And
because
it's
you
a
have
good
no
surprise.
idea.
You're like, whoa, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
In that
That's
case,
exactly what happened.
so Albert's basket is loaded with a 6-pack, Red Bull, pork rinds, all kinds of stuff. And did we get something to make on the fire? I thought we got like some sort of cookable food, but I could be deceived on that. But anyways,
Ben just said AJ had to eat everything right there too because he didn't have any panniers.
No, I was just like grocery store running it because I thought we were gonna like literally go a mile down the road and snack on all this. I was like, it's barely attached to my basket. Like, I'll throw it here and we'll just go. Like I'm going from mustard seed to my house. It's like barely on there.
Yeah.
The really funny part is that gas station was maybe a quarter of a mile further up the road from where we jumped on that Jeep trail. So our whole loop brought us back a quarter mile of the road up further than where we began. Where we got off. So yeah, we started going
Shut
down.
Up, Brad.
This.
They were Chrissy's.
Wow. Yeah. Oh boy.
I think they're still in the
Did
trunk.
I see?
I'll get them eventually.
Yeah. I saw
Dave
it caught
picked them
down.
up for me.
Dave threw him in the trailer. That
He
dog
put him
was having a
across the
blast.
dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw a cot down here.
Yeah.
It should be fine. Yeah. So we get rolling down this descent a little bit, and it becomes clear that we're on our way back to the camp. I think maybe I said we're on our way back to the camp.
I recognized the house that we
Okay.
passed or feature.
Oh yeah, because you're no computer, so he's the nav
so
guy.
on the way up, I was like, this looks familiar.
So it's like, yeah, man, we just have to like ride downhill back to our campsite. At which point Albert says, "Oh, well, in that case." Gets into full arrow tuck, has the ballast of the beer on the front to carry him faster, and down he wins.
Was that the descent where you said he passed you, like you were standing still?
Yeah.
I think it was the day before.
Was that the day before?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's right, because we'd come down that same one of those different areas. Yeah,
It was
a
one of
similar area.
Yeah.
That's right. No, yeah, we were next to each other
Was
when
that-
you took off.
Yeah, we were next to each other when I took off, but the day before we were on the Blue Ridge,
Yeah,
pretty high up, and
just rocketed
it was
past.
probably like a several mile descent.
Yeah. But it was funny, there were cars behind us, and they didn't pass us until we got to the campsite. I mean, it's twisty and stuff, so there's really no safe passing points, but we were both carrying a lot of speed the whole way, and Albert, I don't know, I think mine topped out at just below 40, on those big tires, and Albert was so far ahead of me. I can't even imagine what your speed was. But you were touching both white lines, swaying back and forth.
It's all there. You got to use it.
I mean, they worked hard to lay that pavement.
Yeah.
I think the way you said it to me last week when we were riding is like, when a pro says they used every inch of the road.
No, like when you're watching, the tour or like a bike race on TV, and they're just, you don't think there's any way they're gonna make it around that corner, and they're just using every inch.
Yeah.
I had that experience a couple times where like I'm running on the road, I made it.
Yeah. Didn't touch the brakes.
You got the beer, man.
Yeah, lean into it.
Yeah.
Rounded it good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a tool I have in my toolbox.
Brake pads are still fresh on that bike.
Yeah.
Barely bedded in. Yeah, you can, I don't know if you guys at home can see, but that's the fly pole.
Oh wow.
Isn't that cool? It's like a 12-foot, 10-foot or 12-foot
You
long
can zoom
pole.
in a little on there.
There's a name for it. Do you remember the name of that fly fishing?
Tanaga or Tanakachi?
Tenkara.
That's
Tenkara fly fishing. So it's no reel. The line just hooks onto the end of the pole, and the rest of it's just in your hand.
Huh.
And so like you just throw it out there, and then like with your hand just pull it.
Oh, just kind of yank it back.
You don't even pull the line back. You just like flex the pole. I guess you could pull the line back, but not really because it's on the end of the pole.
But if you catch,
yeah.
But I mean, if you catch something, don't you have to?
I think you would like flick it to set the
To the
the
ground.
hook,
Oh yeah, I guess that's.
and then you'd have to
right.
maybe lift it out of the water.
Yeah.
Well, we never got to that point.
Never got to that.
But when we do, we'll have a. It was cool. We saw a couple fly fishers on our last morning, and the one guy was telling us about some different spots to go, and he's like, "The real thing to get is it's called a Tenkara
Aaron,
pole."
quit.
I know, Aaron's really throwing you under the bus
Jesus Christ.
Oh man, this is why he doesn't do these things. Come on, Aaron.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
How do you block somebody on
Hope
this?
Yeah.
Let's see. Remove.
She's in bed already.
Report.
Yeah, that's right. Dylan said it. Tenkara.
Tankara.
Nice.
So at least it's cool you did try your hand at it.
It was fun.
Yeah, for sure. And the fish were jumping at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so one of the rocks had kind of like a
Hung over like. The
yeah
wall.
hung over, and like that's kind of where I think they probably had a little where they all lived or
Here,
hung
right
out,
here.
and so they would pop out from underneath there.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I think the only wildlife we saw were those otters and some fish in the stream.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see deer, or I really thought we might see bears.
Yeah, no snake.
No snakes. I know David saw a snake. I don't know if you're still on the feed, but one of his photos from the end of his, I think on his last day, there was a really big black snake.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's like, I got caught taking this photo, and the guy's like, do you have a nut shop? I was like,
Wouldn't
That
you
was
li-
his first question.
Wouldn't you like to know?
I had a nickel. It's like, nah, just taking vacation photos.
Did he think like what you were gonna use those as like this is good
Maybe.
marketing here?
Yeah.
God,
Play
that's
the God card on the nuts.
Yeah.
Got it.
And most
I
places
mean-
go for 8 ounces, but we can get away with 7 ounces if God is good on there. 7 for us, 1 for God.
We're gonna market these.
7 for us, 1 for God.
Could have gone for 6. He rested on the 7th day. Nuts for nuts.
Oh my God. Speaking of God.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I've had fried peanuts. Down in the South, I've had boiled. They do the boiled peanuts.
Yeah, those are
yeah.
gross, man.
You don't like them?
No, they're like fleshy almost. They're so soft.
Yeah, they're weird, but I like them.
Huh. All right. It's like,
I mean,
did it have the sticker? Took this for the rats.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if the rest of these. I think the rest of the photos are in a other folder, and that was the nude bathing part. So that's
yeah.
for members only. That'll be one of the
Yeah.
perks we send out to
Premium
you
access.
guys.
Yeah, premium.
Wait for Aaron to get off the feed.
So they deep fry the peanuts. What did you buy any? Or
Didn't
you just
buy-
took a photo
I just took photos,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
for your nut shop.
I don't know if you saw it. There's no price on the for my net shop. And I'm wondering what got blocked out down here.
Yeah, what was there?
Old phone number, maybe? Don't call us.
Oh, yeah,
These
they did that.
nuts.
They made that mistake.
lot of mouth sounds as people are calling. I bought somebody's nuts.
I don't know if it'll play, but you did have some. Would it be worth? Is any of the GoPro fit?
If we
footage
can
worth-
find the one of Albert like flying past me, that'd be fun.
let's-
If you just signed in to Dropbox.
I will not.
Oh, if you scroll down, I think there's a different folder.
There is a
It's
folder.
GoPro.
I need to go up. Why don't they have an up
Scroll
arrow?
down though,
No, they.
because it's. Oh, I thought
Is
it
it
was
over
in
here?
that folder.
No, there's 2 folders on here.
I see.
Well, is it gonna go back through every single photo if I try to do that? Of course it will, because
Oh wait, no. That,
Oh, there it
that-
is.
That's the beginning.
there we go. Nope. I'll go back to the
This
email.
is riveting.
Riveting tone. I don't have that on the screen. It's just
Okay.
us staring.
Just us
up.
staring at it.
Oh, is Yonda in here?
Oh,
Oh, Yonda's here. You guys make fun of Yonda while I find this folder.
you.
Go back to
What's-
the broken chain section.
Yeah. Whose Wahoo is that?
Aaron's just being
Man, what a
man.
Just trolling.
Wow,
She's
yeah, why? They must be. She must be doing a little drinking, thinking she's funny thing, huh? Shtick, you know. I'm in trouble now.
Jim and I are gonna stay here.
Yeah. Oh, Pudgy said, Micah, you sure you don't like fleshy nuts? You have?
Find out.
What's a good
I
clip?
think, let's see here. Keep going down there. The Albert fast riding should be, I think it's that last one.
What does that mean?
Oh, down here on
In the woods here?
Oh, that's the one where it's
It's
like,
on the
oh, we're
road.
going back to the camp? In that case.
Yeah, see, I don't know how if Dropbox understands. Movies, we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're right on our way back.
I turned down the wind noise, huh? Oh, you guys playing Bluetooth speakers too?
That's my tires.
Oh. Oh yeah, he just takes off. Oh, he realized. Wait.
I was like, oh, we're going back to the camp? See
So
ya.
you actually have it on camera where he realizes
Yeah.
this is what you're doing?
Yeah.
Let's see if let's
Yeah,
start this
a
up.
little bit of the conversation's on there. Yeah, we're right on our way back. Yep. Now we get to just enjoy the downhill.
Already caught.
See ya.
It almost looks like you're sitting on the top, like doing the full froom on the top tube there.
He was.
Yeah.
Oh, you were.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
For 4 miles.
Poor Fargo wasn't going to be able to catch up to
Nah,
that.
yeah. And getting that up to 40, I mean, is,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, listen to that. The tire, you could hear the tires just.
As I wreck.
Yeah. Bunch of tumbling. Aaron says, "Can I call in? I have some questions."
Please, yes.
The number's blocked off.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I'm begging nuts.
If only we had that number.
If only had that number.
Try escape.
Why? It's.
Wait, maybe the arrows to shrink
Oh
that?
yeah. Exit full screen.
Computers are confusing.
Yeah. Why don't I just go back to what I had? Dropbox.
You're not going to convert me into hating Dropbox, but you're close. You're
Do you have
getting
some of your? Did you pull it out for? Any of your like walking footage, like is where it was like super gnarly? Or?
Let's see. I think like 127 or 10,127 is some of the stuff in that area. Oh, good. Everybody will get to hear me breathe as I have the camera in my mouth.
I have it off. Yeah.
Yeah, it was it's just tight.
See, this looks
Narrow.
cool if you hadn't had to have been.
Right.
If this was just
Yeah,
this.
this part was fun.
Yeah. Like a tunnel of trees that.
Oh, and you can see the fishing pole is in its tube right there on the top of my handlebar bag.
Oh yeah.
It's super compact.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Rat's Instagram video.
Oh yeah. Aaron's trying to call in.
Yeah, Aaron, no, not happening. You got my number, Aaron.
Gonna patch her through.
You got my digis.
I'm sure he just pulled out, of course.
Oh, there we got our YMJ. Nice.
Everyone wants her
Everyone
to call through.
Let her call.
I'm not set up for that right now.
Why? No, I will not answer the Rats video.
Wait, what happens if I answer?
Okay.
Let's see if we can.
Oh my gosh, are we gonna break the internet?
Venturing.
Will it let you answer it on the browser?
I'll use the Instagram app to see this. Of course, Brad's comment up here is human centipede.
Yeah, you're putting the world into a very questionable amount of information. There. Just friendly banter in the rat feed.
So you guys did. Oh, what did a Fargo? Oh, Rusty was asking about a Fargo meetup, but
Oh yeah.
yeah. So you did one more than day trip after.
Let's
I guess
see.
that was the last
That
day.
was the last day. Yeah, because then the next day we packed. Actually, it was kind of fortunate that we.
The plan was on the last day to ride, kind of like the first day, ride, a few hours and then get in the car.
Mm-hmm.
But by that point, I think we'd both kind of
Yeah.
had our fill.
Yeah.
So we took we took our time in the morning, kind of getting packed up, and
Yeah.
we just sort of get back until like
I
6
thought,
or so anyway.
right. I was
So it
yeah,
worked
maybe
out
even
that you didn't
7.
ride.
Without riding. So
A lot of it's pretty exciting. A lot of Subway. Probably more Subway than either of
2
us have
Subway
eaten.
trips,
in,
yeah. Subway Eat Fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got behind a lady that tasted every single
Oh
sauce.
my goodness.
Every sauce. She wasn't sure. She wanted
She had never Subwayed before.
some sort of mustard, right?
She just wanted yellow mustard. Yeah.
But she had to find that out.
But
by...
they didn't have the yellow
It
mustard.
didn't have that.
So the lady behind the counter had her try every single sauce that they had.
Which, can you imagine being like 6 sauces deep in Subway sauces? First of all, how are you tasting anything?
Also, if you want mustard, like, what's the replacement is to taste every sauce?
Right.
I think you can eliminate some right off the rip. Like,
Well, she suggested a couple, and she tried them, and she no, ew, no,
Yeah.
ew. Oh well, we have this. Here, try these.
We have like Korean barbecue. But that might be like mustard. I don't know.
No.
Yeah. Sweet
No.
and tangy. Yeah, seems like it.
And yeah, so at the end of it, it
but
just
she
went
said
to
lost
Dijon.
in the sauce.
Yeah, I think she went with the classic old S&P and maybe oil and vinegar in the end.
Well, I think she wanted a Dijon mustard, but all they had was yellow
Oh,
mustard.
got
And so I
it.
think we went all sauces back to the yellow mustard.
Which a yellow mustard and a Dijon are not anywhere
Not-
close to each other.
But they're both mustards. They're not
They are both
sauces.
mustards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Aaron
can we
asked,
just keep this thing moving?
Aaron asked what color were the sauces because he probably wants to know if the lady was religious or not.
Oh, that's a good question. There were some white ones.
There were some white
There's
sauces.
sauces.
I don't know if she was just being polite because she was religious.
Yeah.
And being like, I think she faked it. Because she was just like sticking her finger in each one.
Yeah, they each came out in their own little shot cup.
I didn't know they had sauce tasting cups at Subways.
They may
Yeah.
be out now because she used a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fred said, I'm picturing like a wine tasting where you aerate each sip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spit it back. Like,
She was spitting.
Oh, I missed Aaron's call. Wait a minute. Oh boy. I've got some.
Am I in trouble?
Yeah.
Now Chrissy's talking?
Oh, Chrissy's texting. Oh, shit.
Just
AJ dissed my paneers and lost the wine again.
it's all out now. But Chrissy, you told him to join this tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
Those things would have remained secrets.
Now you're ruining the Christmas presents.
Speaking of condiments, though, yesterday a student told me I had asked my students important educational information if they hate the smell of ketchup, because it is a terrible smell, especially like school cafeteria. It smells like a lot of ketchup.
Yeah.
Oops. I had my phone on silence.
But then one of the students told me that his friend in elementary school broke his arm, got a cast, and within the first day of having the cast, spilled ketchup down his cast.
Ew.
Oh, and then you don't take those off,
You
so it
can't
just
take
dries.
that off. Oh,
Probably very vinegary.
right.
Because
I asked him, did he get a coat hanger?
Smells like, right?
Yeah. Did he get a coat hanger down there to I don't know, get pretty gross.
Oh, it is working on it. Sorry.
Pretty gross. So if anybody at home has condiment stories,
Or a bed for me to sleep.
Or a bed for you to sleep.
or panniers that you're looking to get rid of.
Yeah. Preferably yellow.
Yellow ones, not the full size, the small ones.
Oh, one funny thing, when we had set out on the first day, I was wearing my my hip pack, and there's little straps on the underside of it, and I was like, oh, perfect for meat sticks. So I had loaded it with all these meat sticks, tightened it up. Within our first stop, I went back to grab one, completely empty. Because of course, it's not made for meat sticks, and when you're bouncing along on a mountain bike trail, those things fall out.
But
So-
when you guys only route back to where you started,
Oh!
So the next day, after a long, grueling afternoon, I really knew we were on our way back because my bread trail had been discovered.
Were they spaced out, or were they all like in a-
Spaced out.
like one
Along
meat
with
stick was
here,
falling
meat
out
stick
at the
there.
time?
So gathered those things back up,
It's like a
and
Scooby Doo episode.
I was so happy. Yes, my beef sticks.
Another one.
Yep. Meanwhile, we had left a bunch of beef sticks up on Tory Ridge and a couple yellow panniers because
Yeah.
we didn't need to carry those along anymore.
Chris and I are going back.
Yeah. Apparently, you know what
Chris
you're doing
Chris
this
and I are
weekend.
going back.
Yeah.
It looked like a nice hike.
Yeah, it was
Good
on foot.
hike.
And she wants to do the Appalachian Trail. So.
Oh, yeah, it's not that
Okay.
far
Yeah,
from
man,
there.
see, I had it planned.
Oh, you guys are
see,
gonna
you
be
talk about
so-
planning.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I had it planned this whole time.
Yeah.
Why does it say, now on your screen it says of testicles?
Oh, that's a different thread for another day.
Okay. Yeah. You guys will be thankful you'll be hungry. And there's some food.
There you
Yeah,
go.
so you don't even need to pack food because it's already there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, that's planning.
Meat trail. Yana tried to make a joke, but with a spelling error, it just ruins the whole thing. I'm sure you loaded your putch with meat sticks.
See, Yonda? You just dropped it, man.
Mm-hmm.
So Pudgy said without a condiment you have to raw dog, and
Oh, man.
Brad said depends on how religious you are about sauces.
Yikes.
Well,
We made it back.
you're
it
here
back.
to tell the tale.
Third time's a charm. We're gonna make the third trip.
I can't wait to hear what you guys say you're planning. Because usually, I'm like, well, one with the Fool's Loop, like you
threat
were,
of
you were,
planning.
like warned, like, you know,
It's called the Fool.
it's called the Fool's Loop. Yeah.
It's true.
Well, David, when we were texting, so David, the dog packer, lives in upstate New York, or not upstate, but Finger Lakes region of New York, and he has family in Warren and friends in Peninsula. So he was in Warren, Ohio, for about a week. Just this past week, we were going to try to meet up, but it didn't work out. But when we were texting back and forth to coordinate, he's like, a route you guys should really try is the Green Mountain Gravel Growler. So funny you mentioned it.
Yeah.
That was the original plan.
And there were times when we were, hiking on boulders where I said, I could just be drinking a fucking beer right now.
Yeah, there are like 6
I
breweries.
could just be in Vermont rolling
yeah.
through the.
Yeah.
Yep. Come to find out, that would have probably worked out
real
just
nice,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah. So next time.
Well, Large said, Ben said, next up is the sub 24 500 miler.
we
That's
go.
right.
Baseline.
Goal. Yep. I don't know. I suggested a 300 miler, and I was sworn at.
That was the day that we didn't.
It was about an hour
David
after we
did
had
the
completed.
200
It was
miler.
literally as we were finishing.
I'm a completionist.
Timing's
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah,
Timing's everything.
yeah.
I always want another piece of the cake.
I don't know. When I talked to Dylan about the 200, I'm like I did have like FOMO, but I'm like, oh, I have to work, I can't do that. But at the same time, I had an out because I legit had to work. Yeah. Talking to Dylan, I'm like, I don't know. I think I probably would have cracked the way Dylan did, where he like didn't even what was he?
He got like 198 or 196. Yeah,
and still not like didn't care about breaking that number
Right.
with 2 miles to go. I'm like, I think that's might have been.
I think he was shorter than that. I think he was like 180.
Oh, was he?
I think so. Yeah, he was pretty much done when we got to
to Ravenna. Yeah,
Ravenna and then shot back.
I remember talking about like I was thinking like mean things about people. I'm like, oh, I've been
Yeah,
there.
your mind goes into weird.
I've been there in foot races.
Weird,
like I've been
tough
like,
spots.
Yeah, you get totally depleted, and yeah, when we pulled into that campground to get water, and he wiped out in the gravel, and which is just insult to injury. You've been on the bike all day. You're
Like
tired
not like
and
trying to clip
upset.
out and just like tipping over. Like you know how to do that, but like your body's just like
yeah.
So
not
that
letting
just
you.
takes you to dark places, and then you still have a ways to go. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
talked
that was
about this
fun,
on
but-
the stream, but for any of you who don't know what we're talking about, they decided they would do a 200-mile day just to do it.
Yeah.
do
Just
it.
have a
See if we could
challenge.
do it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, with Large Marge, with Ben, and our buddy Dylan.
kind of straight up to Willoughby,
Yeah. Yep. Right
across
into
the
that
lake
area.
out to Ashtabula and back down.
It was a beautiful route, and you and Aaron and maybe Ben and Brad had ridden on the Maple.
Yeah,
Maple
Maple
Valley
Highlands?
Trail? Maple Highlands, yeah. Just a couple days before that, and it was so fortuitous. She told us about that, and we were able to incorporate it into our route, and it was
Yeah.
really great, especially because Ben had brought along some pickle juice, and it had disastrous effects on his digestive system. Right about the time that we got to Sharton,
Into shirt.
Chardon. Chardon. Yeah.
and we were on the Maple Highlands Trail when he had an emergency.
Yeah, when he had some phrase for it, like
And
I
again,
was,
timing is everything.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
So we
Yeah.
pull away. We're kind of going up this little climb. So we're all kind of like dialed into the, getting our gear in and kind of pushing up the hill. And Ben just goes, "Well, I guess that's why they call it Chardon."
Yeah, I just lost
I'll
it.
just lose, just lose our-
Yeah.
oh, I guess that.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. I don't know where you're going.
Always
but,
end on a high note.
We'll be here to talk about our next failure.
Yeah.
failing upwards.
Yeah. Do you guys have you even talked about a new?
Well,
plan?
definitely the Vermont one's on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's always chatter about it.
I'd love to get back out into the Southwest,
Hmm.
especially with winter coming up. It's just, I love it out there.
Yeah. We've been talking about hopefully maybe meeting up with Mikey in LA,
Oh, that'd be great.
riding some of those roads out there if we could swing it. I don't know yet, but yeah, definitely like when winter's at its worst is when I would like to get out that direction.
Right.
But
That'd be wonderful.
we've talked about going down too because the cyclocross world champs are in the U.S. this year.
Are
Down
they
in
really?
Arkansas. So
Oh man.
it's the end of January.
Nice.
And the riding's supposed to be awesome down there.
Yeah.
It's just south of Bentonville,
Mhm.
like rideable from Bentonville, where it's all supposed to be like interconnected with mountain bike trails that go through the towns and everything. So that would be like a more chill or less expensive vacation than getting all the way out to LA
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be sweet.
because Arkansas is drivable. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah, something like that. Something to get out of here when it's at its worst.
Yeah. Yep. Remind yourself that there's a world out there. Ooh, Aaron's threatening to come on one of these trips. Aaron, how are you about not planning? I've seen your spreadsheets. I've benefited from your
Yeah,
spreadsheets.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unvite. All right. Well, I'll throw up a
Thanks.
video and then come back and sum this up and say goodbye to you guys. And
Cool.
yeah.
Thanks.
Sweet. Thanks, dude.
See you, everybody.
I just want to take a quick moment during this break to thank our channel members. Their financial support really does make it possible to do this many live streams and produce this many videos. So thanks a lot. If you're interested in joining, we could drop a link on the screen in the chat right now that you could check out and follow that link and join the channel and get some special perks too. Anyways, thanks to everybody else too for tuning in. I really enjoyed doing this. Check out the merch store and also drop a like on this video. Thanks, every little bit helps. We will be back in a couple minutes.
I wanna tune a boat. Give me tune a boat. I wanna tune a boat. Give me tune a boat.
Yeah, so I was just saying, sorry for the delay. Obviously, I was seeing those guys out. Um, Also, the door down here in the basement, I think, is original, 1920s. So people pull on it, it sticks. Yeah, heavy. But yeah, I'm back. I got it. Gotcha, guys. Yeah. Well, that was fun. It was fun to have those guys on. Their stories full times. If you, I think someone in the Discord, if you're in the Discord, dropped Pudgy dropped the link to Micah's first time on the live stream. You should definitely listen to that one because when they did the Fools Loop, that was a absolute. I think one of the greatest live streams because it's just such a intense story of Micah tapping out and Albert still going for it. Yeah, they're fun to have on. Yeah, Albert's first time on, but yeah. So Albert has been a friend since high school, but he moved out west for a number of years and rode out there. And then when he moved back, me and him like kind of reconnected and started hanging out again. He joined us on our Wednesday rides and all that. So yeah, I think it's pretty late, right? Micah was only going to stay till 10 because he's teaching in the morning. He's only teaching part-time now as he's moved on to do his art pretty much as his main career, like his graphic design work. I've told you guys before, he's the one who like modified my logo and printed it on the Musette bags and the t-shirts and stuff like that. And I'm working on with him on a couple projects that I want to put out for the channel and the channel members and all that stuff. I also know I promised the channel members video. I want to rework it. I thought I was going to get caught up this weekend. This turned out to be one of the busiest weeks I've ever done. I had a great week of working with really cool people, but yeah, it just kind of kept me behind, but on doing this kind of stuff, obviously the stuff that pays the bills has to go first. So, hey, what's up, Dimitri? Glad you popped in to say what's up. But yeah, anyways, I just finished a video today that I think I'm going to put out on Saturday. It's just a bunch of clips of me and Large and Aaron and Otis riding. Really pretty fall stuff. We went out to the photo I showed earlier that Summit Perry showed of that cider place. Right out there, Otis's birthday ride, me and Large going to some abandoned factories. So that'll be on Saturday. Then my goal over the weekend, I'm hoping to get the final video from our trip out east, where me and Large rode around the state of Connecticut and did 65 miles with about the same amount of elevation, 6,500 feet of climbing through a nor'easter. So I have a bunch of footage of that. So I think that I haven't looked at enough of the footage, but we hit some cool gravel roads, beautiful country roads. So I think that's going to be a really cool video. Yeah, so I'm hoping for Monday on that one. So, oh, Dimitri says he did 51 kilometers on his way home into a headwind. Wow. The turd's still here. It's a little lower. Yeah, and yeah, so the same thing. In the Discord, I do want to line up more guests to have on. I think it's way more fun to do it this way. So again, if any of the channel members are watching, they got first priority of being guests. It's one of the perks of being a member. So I want to get some of the ones we haven't had yet, So, Lanky, obviously, Jay Dandy if he wants to. And we could either do it here in person or I will get set up to do it remote. And we'll discuss that over in the Discord as well. But I think for tonight that's it because it's 11 o'clock and I want to get to bed. This has been a crazy week. Like I said, I got to work with one of the best videographers I've ever seen in my life. Just amazing guy. It was a fun couple days, but yeah, it was just, I'm tired. And then today I was shooting Veterans Day events all day and I've got all that stuff to get through. But oh, Aaron's ready for another round on the show. Aaron was just on. Yeah. Pudgy, we need to have you back on again. Yeah, we'll do it. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. Rick, we should do another one. I wouldn't mind talking about your experience at the Philly Bike Expo, and even since the last time we've talked too. You have different bikes, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'll start to get that worked out. Maybe I'll even hit up Aaron about like maybe even making some kind of spreadsheet or figuring out like a scheduling thing. I don't know. Maybe we'll keep it simple and I'll just be like, hey, you do it tonight. But all right, guys. Yeah, I'm just rambling now. So I will see you Tuesday live, Saturday for an upload.
Okay. On your YouTube. Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this night.
Fitzwater photo.